praise God. I'm glad you asked.
I definitely tuned in, caught a few of them with Sultan, man. That's my big bro, for real, for real. Those are definitely legendary, the stories that he shared.
Yes, sir. Okay, perfect. Make sure. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this afternoon. We have a wonderful guest with us today, one who's going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than Brother Chase. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's an honor to have you on the podcast, and on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience, we want to just let you know we look forward to hearing your amazing life journey. The first question that we have for you, sir, is when did you first hear the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Woo. Excellent question. So the first time I heard like the minister period was I want to say during the beef with Ja Rule and 50 Cent. Swear to God.
Okay.
I saw it, I was flipping through the channels and I think it came on BET. And I was just like flipping through the channels. I'm like, man, who is this dude, man? Because I was a fan of Ja Rule. And I'm like, yo, he got Ja on here, man. Let me see what he's talking about, man. So he was talking about like just how the enemy comes in through our through music, and brought up the history of Tupac, you know what I mean, Biggie, and just listening to him, I was like, yo, he sounds like somebody I should listen to, man. And I was like, maybe I think I was a teenager then. I think I was like maybe 16 or 17 or something like that. And then fast forward, I heard him again. Be honest with you, I was a part of this church, and me and my brother, I'm sure you're familiar with it, Brother Daniel. That's been my best friend since the Sandbox, man. So we go way back.
Okay.
Like, dude is like a huge reason why I'm in the nation. Huge reason. He had invited me to hear the first time I heard him, the rededication. It was a rededication of the mosque, and it was like super packed. Like, man, like packed. Like we was in the tent packed, you know what I mean? And so I had this monster fro, believe it or not. And I had a suit on. And me and him came, we went to the tent and we sat in the tent, and it was my first time going to like anything Muslim, anything Islamic, you know what I mean? So I'm just sitting there, I'm just in awe, you know what I mean? And, you know, they're showing you all of the shots from the inside of the mosque and the gold trimming and this. I'm just like, whoa, I've been to mega churches before, but I ain't never seen nothing like this before. So it was that. And then his lecture was, he was talking about the Muslims do believe in Jesus. And so that was just like one of those selling points for me. It was just like, okay, dude talking about us being on top, you know what I mean? Black people being the cream of the crop, you know what I mean? And then to tie it all in, you believe in Jesus too? I was like, dope, you know what I mean? So I was married at the time to my children's mom, and we was like kind of in limbo whether or not we was gonna go back to the church we were part of. And I was like, yo, I came back home. I was like, hey, check it out. You know what I mean? Like, he talking about, you know what I mean? Jesus over here. She's like, nah. It's like, nah. Like, staunch Christian. Nah. I ain't with it. I was like, all right, cool. So I chilled out on it. And then he invited me out again. Fast forward again, Daniel invited me out again. He was always getting me in trouble. My wife stay getting me in trouble. But he invited me out again to hear the crucifixion of Michael Jackson. Dope lecture, like had me on fire once again. I come home, yo, hey, check it out. This dude killing it, you know what I mean? And I'm like, the word was on point, the ambiance is beautiful. I think this gonna be it. She like, nah, like hit me with the nah, yeah, like for real, no. Like I married a Christian, not a Muslim. All right, okay, so I chilled out. Fast forward again. Some unfortunate events happened in my life, and then he invited me out to the time of what must be done, the lecture. And it was so crucial because this when the minister was talking about, like, you know what I mean, where he had been on the World Friendship Tour, He had talked about all the gifts he was given, how he was treated. And I'm like, yo, this that dude, man, for real, that the Bible be talking about, right? So that's just how my mind was putting everything together or whatever. So immediately, like, so I invited her out. You know what I mean? This time I invited her out. Instead of me going back and going like, yo, babe, like get shot down. I was like, nah, it's your turn. You gonna come with me this time. So my son had to be maybe 2. He had to be maybe, no, he was about, maybe, yeah, he's about 2 years old. He's about 2 years old. And she brought him with her. And he was hollering over there, crying and all that. So I'm looking across the aisle, checking every now and again, you know what I mean? And it was different for her, you know what I mean? But she enjoyed it, you know what I mean? I stayed all the way to the end. She left. I stayed all the way to the end. At the end, I was literally in tears, like crying, like ugly crying. You know what I'm saying? And he had extended the welcome to the mosque. You know how they do, like, yo, you know, if you feel like this is it, come through. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, cool. So I get up and I'm just teary-eyed, you know what I mean? And it was a long line this time, you know what I'm saying? And the minister, you know, normally after he do it, you know, Minister Ishmael be out there, he kind of, you know what I'm saying, extends the greetings to you and all of that on behalf of the minister. The minister stayed out this time, you know what I'm saying? So he was standing right there on the roster, you know what I'm saying? On the big roster and whatnot. And I get to the front and I shake Minister Ishmael's hand. I look up at him. I said, "Some alaikum, sir." I look up all the way at the big rock. He walked like a salam back. And I literally like bursting into more tears, man. I look ahead as I'm bending the corner and I'm getting my acceptance letter. I see Daniel. I'm like, yo, Daniel, what's up? Like, this is my homie. So he turned around. He go like, "What's good, bro?" I was like, I didn't think he was gonna come out. So we both ended up joining that same day. And like that's been my homie in the faith, my brother in the faith, my teacher as well, because he teaches me martial arts as well. So, like all of that. Like he's been everything. Like so that he's the reason why I'm in.
Oh, praise do so a lot. That's a beautiful story, Brother Chase. And thank you all people who are watching all across the country. Brother Nelson's showing love all the way from Massachusetts. My sister Miriam sends the greetings. Says Walaikum Salam family. Walaikum family. Walaikum Salam. Thank you all both for watching. And thank everybody who's watching. Can't wait to put this on YouTube. Please let us know what city you all are watching from. Okay. Yes, sir. My next question is, so you accept. How does your family and friends feel about you accepting the teachings?
Good question, buddy. So when it comes down to that, first off, you know what I'm saying? No shade to my ex-wife. Love it to death, man. She's still the mother of my children. You know what I'm saying? She was like, hell no. It was like, and we was like, we had everything together. Had an apartment, car, you know what I mean? Just everything, you know, everything together. So she was like, hell no. Like, no. Immediately no. That was in November. She was filed for divorce. I was like, that was that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And so by January, we was like officially divorced. You know what I'm saying? And so I gave her everything in the divorce, you know, she ended up, you know what I mean? Where she was, you know what I'm saying? And I ended up moving on. And I had to start over. I had nothing but my name and clothes. And my dad was like, yo, don't trip. You know what I mean? Shout out to my pops. Love him to death, man. That's my dude. You know what I'm saying? He ended up like literally like he had a condo on 51st. And he was just like, oh, dude, like I got a big crib, start over. He was like always a sympathizer for the nation and whatnot. And so at one point, I think he was in the nation too, but he was just like a huge sympathizer. He was just like, yo, with it, you know what I mean? If you with it, this is what you believe, come through, check it out, you know what I'm saying? And so he was receptive. He was receptive of it. My grandmother, she was like, I don't agree with it, but I'm receptive. Shout out to my grandma too. She's from Trinidad, you know what I'm saying? So she was like, oh my goodness, you know, and my grandfather, he was like, oh yes, I met the minister before coming down through the airport. You know, he was coming back from Trinidad, or one of the islands he said he was coming from. It was one of his tours or whatever. So they were receptive. My grandmother and grandfather receptive, aunties receptive, friends was like, nigga, you tripping. They was like, you tripping. They was like, you would have lost your mind because like at that time I was, I was drinking, I was smoking, you know what I mean? So, I was into that. It was that, you know what I mean? So right when I said like I gave up pork, immediately I was already off pork. But I think I announced it to everybody. You know what I'm saying? After I joined the nation, I was like, yeah, I'm not eating pork no more. You know what I'm saying? No alcohol, I ain't drinking no more. Like I'm just straight and narrow. You know what I'm saying? Like they was just like, what? You not drinking? You not I was a smoker. It was like, you not smoking? I was like, no, I'm not, man. I'm found something, man. I think it works for me. You know what I'm saying? They was just like, cool. So my brother's birthday came first. He's born in October. Shout out to my brother Charlie. You know what I'm saying? So his birthday was in October. So we all went out. I was like, this is my last time drinking. I was like, I'm gonna get it out. That's it. I'm done. Got it out of my system. And my brother was like, hey man, whatever you believe, that's fine with me. You still my bro. To the world blow up. Like, cool. You know what I'm saying? So everybody pretty much was like receptive, except for like a few of my friends. They was just like, close friends. They was just like, dude, this is different. Like we was raised staunch Christians. You know what I mean? And we was a part of this mega church. You know what I mean? We was in youth ministries together. Like you see how like I watched how you guys like did like the drill competition and the camaraderie of your team and whatnot. They reminded me of my youth step team. You know what I'm saying? We was a part of the youth step team that later on became a Christian fraternity. And so we was just like how y'all were. We was the young guys coming up in the church. Like everybody is like, oh, they're gonna take us to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the generation. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? Like my friends, when I decided to join the nation, they were just like, dude, like what happened? You messing up the gang, you messing up the squad. Like what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, nah, immediately no. like nah. No, sir. You know what I'm saying? So that was that, yeah, as far as that goes. So it was a mix. I'll say it's a mixture overall. It was a mixture. Receptive and heavy.
I mean, that seems to be the case with many of the people I interview. So we already know that's how it goes. Were you ever able to still stay connected to your friends who stayed in the church?
Absolutely. And here's the irony. At first, even though they were abrasive, like they was like real, like, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna stay over here because it's like it's Jesus or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, no, I do believe in Jesus. Y'all tweaking. Like I'm Muslim. Like I can't be a Muslim without believing in Jesus. Like I'm cool with it. I'm still down with Jesus. Oh no, you confused, brother. No, you tweaking. Like so the crazy part is a few of my brothers are now in the nation. A few of my regulars. You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to those bros, you know what I'm saying, that you know what I'm saying, that they're completing their process right now. You know what I'm saying? And some of them even come hoop with us, you know what I'm saying, on Wednesday after the lecture. We open up the gym and we hoop a little bit. You know what I mean? And it's just it's a setting for us to share brotherhood and camaraderie. You know what I mean? And just in those sessions with us hooping and just talking, they're like, man, so you know what I'm saying? We hooping, we shooting around. So what made you, da 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 da? And the questions start flowing. And the answers start flowing, you know what I mean? And so because Daniel, again, was a part of that same group with me, you know what I'm saying? Whatever I can't answer, that's his side. He's the ministerial side. Like I was always the bronze, like the thumper, the fighter. Like I was always, even in the church, interested in security. You know what I mean? Just that's always been my thing. You know what I'm saying? So he was like spiritually adept, dude. He was like he could swing swords with the best of them with the Bible, memorize Bible verses in like one day. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he was able to answer a lot of the questions that they had, you know what I mean, if I couldn't. So I would always direct him like, yeah, even though I'm not sharp on that, I had an answer for you next Wednesday. And they was like, all right, cool. But yeah, it's been pretty dope, man.
All praise due to Allah. Beautiful, and people are showing you love all across the country. And perfect. Speaking of that, let's go. It's a perfect segue to you being a thumper and a fighter. Martial arts. How important has that been to you in life? Like, what makes you be drawn to martial arts?
I've always been interested in martial arts. I've been a part of it all my life, but I didn't get serious till I was an adult. You know what I mean? My mother started me off in Taekwondo, and I got serious with that when I was a child, but it didn't go anywhere. You know what I mean? I was like, uh, they had like junior ranks and all that stuff. So I stopped at like a junior rank yellow belt or something like that. And then after that I left it alone for a little while. And then I think in 8th grade I started studying Kung Fu through a summer program. And unfortunately my instructor died. You know what I mean? He had died in a car crash. You know what I mean? Teaching so many classes a day. And then during one of the summer courses, he fell asleep at the wheel. Was that, you know what I mean? So after that, again, Daniel, he the one who hooked me up with my and introduced me to my instructor, Master Winder. Shout out to Master Winder, man. Gave like during my adult years, he gave me that foundation in martial arts where I was able to get serious in it. You know what I mean? And gave me that concrete foundation in martial arts, and I got all the way up into a purple belt under him. You know what I mean? And dope, man. Just a dope person, inside and out, personality wise. You know what I mean? Instructional wise, he was always he's a father figure to me. You know what I'm saying? He might say brother, but he's a father figure to me because of the wisdom that he imparted to me on and off the mat. You know what I mean? And then afterwards, once I got to my purple belt, I took a break because I joined the nation. And then I told him he was good friends with GM, Grandmaster Abdul Aziz. For those who don't know, shout out to Grandmaster Abdul Aziz. I had asked his permission if I could go study with him because I wanted to get the locks down pack and you know what I mean, a VSK because it's the system for what we do as far as security personnel. And so I started training with it immediately. You know what I mean? And I got my white belt under him, and then I think that's when Daniel was like, "Yo, like we were both working like crazy jobs, like wherever he worked, believe it or not, wherever he went, I followed." So a lot of people that's close to us in the nation, they'll say, if you see one, you see the other. Wherever he went, I went. You know what I'm saying? So when it came down to work, he got a job at we both got a job at this moving company called 2 Men in the Truck. And it was like crazy work. You know what I mean? Like we was like working crazy hours. Jack was like, you know what I'm saying? And then we was like relying on tips. You know what I'm saying? So I think we were just looking at each other one day like, man, we are tired as hell, bro. We was getting up early in the morning, driving far as ever. You know what I mean? And the pay was like okay, but it wasn't like enough for what we doing. We both had children, you know what I mean? Believe it or not, fun fact, our sons are 1 day apart. That's crazy. That's crazy. One day he just looked at me. We was moving this cellar. We was moving for this rich guy, you can tell he was like a Jewish dude, man. Like he was moving some stuff, and he had a wine cellar, and I saw the door crack on the wine cellar, and it was like expensive. Like so, like when the door cracked, D looked at me. He's like, "Cause they take it out of your check when you like as a mover, you like break somebody's. They take it out of your check for however long it takes until it's paid off." That's like a $5,000 wine cellar, and we wasn't really making it a lot of money. So he looked at me. He said, "Yep, today's my last day, bro. It's been real. I'm gonna get at you later." So he split, bounced. You know what I'm saying? And he went to the medical field for a little while, and then I went into security doing security at a jewelry store for a little while. One day he looked at me and said, "Man, I want to do martial arts for a living, like for real, for real." And I was just like, "Let's do it. Like I'm with it. Like I'm your man, 50 grand. I'm the live wire friend. Like when you say, like let's do something. All right, we can do it. Who car we taking? You know what I'm saying? I'm with it. I'm that friend." So when he said that he wanted to do it, I'm like, "I'm down. How do I help?" He was like, "Cool. This is what we're gonna do. Like we're gonna come up with a logo. We're gonna come up with a name, or whatever." Woo. So I was flipping through my art book, like trying to, you know what I'm saying, come up with a logo. And he's like, "What about this?" Because I would always draw like concept art. Everybody in my family draw. You know what I'm saying? On the male side. So I was like, "Man, I do the concept art." And he's like, "Yo, what about this?" I was like, "You want that logo?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, cool. I was like, you can have it. You know what I'm saying? Ooh. So he like tweak it out a little bit and put like our instructor's like logo somewhere in it. I want to mix like our instructor's logo somehow in there. I was like, cool. You know what I'm saying? So got it in there, made it happen. Somebody, he had a friend that digitized it, made it look smoother, got rid of all of the rough edges, and we was like, dope. What are we gonna call it? He's like, Lion's Paw. And I was just like, dope. I was like, yo, let's do it. I'm with it. Like, let's go. I like it. Like, let's go. So ironically, our first dojo was GM's old
Mm.
and it was dope. Like we didn't have anything in there. It was like bare floor. Like we was in there like naked, like no paint on the wall, no decals, no nothing. And we was just in there. And for what we was charging, it was just like, how are we surviving? How are we surviving? And so he ended up, you know what I mean, taking a trip, you know what I mean, and getting some more wisdom on the business side of it, and then came back and he was just like, all right, this is what we charge it from now on. This is what it's gonna look like, and just rolled it out. That is a man with vision, like crazy. He'll walk into a place, it'll be like the dojo we're at now. He'll walk into there and it was literally an abandoned liquor store, like no nothing, like just picture raw walls torn up, ceiling falling in. And he walked in there, he was like, all right, I see the floor being right here. The walls are going to be here. This is where the station for the computers are going to be right here. And I'm just like, okay, all right. You see it, I see it. Okay, let's go for it. All right, so I mean, after that, I came with Dan. He got me. I got permission from Master Winder basically to go study under him, and he got me to my brown belt, and then to my black belt, then to my second degree. I'm a second degree under him. So,
Beautiful. Yeah. Yes. What style of martial arts is it?
Okinawa Shiryu karate.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. And for people who are watching and want to sign up, is it something they can do virtually, or do they have to be in person in Chicago?
Right now, you have to be in Chicago. All right, bro. Things working. You know, it's things working right now. The fire, but right now you have to be in Chicago to sign up. But if you want to support, just because you want to support, we ain't stopping that either. You know, you want to donate, you want to donate, that's definitely fine. We do have Zelle, we do have Cash App, we do have yeah, I'll just stay there. That's where my knowledge is. Cash App is there. If you want to support. But we're definitely right next door to the final call. Yep.
Okay, so you're on 79th. What's the exact address and the phone number and the Cash App information so that we can make sure we support you?
Definitely. The address is 742 West 79th Street, Chicago, Illinois, 606. Yes, 19. Yes, 19. Yeah. So.
Okay. And what age group do you take?
We take ages from 3 all the way into adulthood. So there's there's a class for 3 to 4 year olds. There's a class for 5 to 6 year olds. There's a class for 7 through 9 year olds. There's a class for 10 to 12 year olds, and then there's a class from 13 to 17, and then there's the adult. So literally we have a class for everybody, and it's made just for you.
Excellent. Yes, sir. So
that phone number, though, I give the phone. Phone number is 773-877-3236.
Perfect. Now, for coming up in Chicago, MUI, we all had to fight. So the first school I went to was Sheehan Larry Tanks. Well, he's past that now. Now he's beyond Sheehan, but it was Larry Tankston's school that was right the street from the mosque. And man, all we did was get it in and was sparring and things. And sparring was my favorite thing, and weapons. So sparring and weapons. Is that something that you all provide? Like, is it katas? Like, what's the main thing that your school? Like, what's your strength?
Absolutely, fighting is a huge component to our school. Just like you said, like sparring is definitely a huge component. In fact, Saturdays is our sparring day. That's when we get it in. Excuse me. That's literally. That's our sparring day. I have a funny video on Instagram on the channel where I'm basically saying shut up and fight. That's That's all. That's it's called the five. I mean the 10 Commandments. I did 1 through 5 on this episode. If y'all ain't doing nothing, go to our page, check it out. It's funny, just comedy, giving levity to what we do. What we do spar. We do kata. We do self defense. Weapons is something we dabble in a little bit sometimes. But the most is both. But for the most part, yes, fighting, kata, self-defense. We talk about nutrition, which was a huge component. We talk about healing, you know what I mean, as far as how to properly heal and whatnot. You know what I mean? So the nutrition was definitely something dope this week. We talked a huge bit about sugar, and it was some stuff I learned as a black belt. You know what I mean? Just like, dang, I had no clue. You know what I mean? That's what it looks like as far as what sugar does to the body and whatnot, and breaking it down. I mean, we got How to Eat to Live, of course, you know what I mean, which is the ultimate book for of knowledge when it comes down to nutrition, and in my humble opinion, and it comes down to understanding what to eat and when to eat and all that and whatnot. But just again, sometimes you just, you'll breeze past stuff and you like, man, I didn't know that. Like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, cool. Sugar does that to me. Oh, okay, cool. So that's a huge component that again, not just myself, the children, even the children were learning something. And some of the teens were learning a lot, you know what I mean, about that just in martial arts class. So sometimes it's a little bit more than kicks and punches. And I got to give a special shout out to Tankston too as well. I heard you say his name. So shout out to Hanshi Tankston as well. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. So he's a Hanshi now, right? How do I say Hanshi?
Yes, sir. Hanshi.
Yes, sir. I've interviewed him, and man, I learned so much from him and his school, and that's how I got into the commas and all the nunchucks and everything. So it was a thing. Yes, sir.
Also, you nasty with the hands too, huh?
I mean, I don't, it's not for that. It's not about that. But listen, my question is fear. Being in Chicago, Chirac, and has there ever been a time when you've been faced with fear? And if so, how do you overcome that fear? Or how did you overcome that fear?
Oh man, all the time. It's not often that I had to fight, you know what I mean? But when I did, I like to use the minister's story when he talked about the bull in Fear, Faith, and Truth.
Absolutely.
Like, initially, that fear creeps up in you, right when it's kicking off, right when it's getting ready to go there. But it's like something in you, you know what I mean? You have to calm yourself down and remember that, hey man, I got skills. Hold up, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? I got skills. Because the fear will freeze you. It will literally freeze you for a second, like for a brief second. You're like, oh, this dude got a gun. You know what I mean? Ooh, I hope I don't have to. But there was a time I was working at I still work for the Final Call, and I can't even say I work. This is literally like devotion for me. This is my way of working off, any sins that I may do knowingly or not. So anyway, I'm at the Final Call, and this guy is just outside yelling. It's on 79th Street, so all type of people walking up and down 79th Street. He's just loud, just outside the door. Ah. I'm on post, and I go like, man, who is this, man? So the guy's just like, he comes inside the lobby. So I'm like, what? Okay. I said, hey, my man, didn't I tell you? Now he had been coming around like for a long time, like scaring some people, like scaring the sisters, scaring people. I chased him away one time. Hey, don't do that, man. You don't bother the sisters. That ain't how we get down. Like when you start messing with the sisters, that's when I got a problem. I got a huge problem. Mess with the believers, period. I got a problem. But the sisters are huge. That's when I'm zero tolerance for sisters. So it's like, like sister told me, there's like this dude out here like scaring the life out of like you crazy, yelling at us and all. I'm like, okay, cool, I got you. I chased him away a couple days. So this one time he came in the lobby. I was like, didn't I tell you not to come in here before? Man, instantly he reached for me and I laid one. And as I was throwing a punch, believe it or not, it was the first day of Ramadan. And I was like, I was like, right when I threw the punch, I was like, oh, it's Ramadan. But it was already coming. Punch is already coming.
All praises due to Allah. Yes, sir.
Like, I'm sorry, brother, but you can't be doing that. I apologize to him, man. Stood him back up. So you can't be doing that, brother. And you're not going to attack me either, man. So, and believe it or not, they say a butt whooping is a humbling experience. He was humble after that. Now, when he comes down the street, he literally won't cross the street like where the final call is. He'll go around, walk down that side of the street, and then come back down and then finish walking down the street. I'm like, man, okay, it's not personal, brother. I'm sorry, just don't,
Beautiful. All praises to Allah. Well, thank you for walking your post in a perfect manner. Keep it always to the alert. Yes, sir. And thank everybody who's watching. Brother Nelson Ramos says he appreciates this testimony. It's very humbling. All praises due to Allah. And thank you all very much. All right. Here we go. Brother Chase, we have a quick 60-second commercial break, and we're coming back. We have a few more questions for you, sir. And we want to thank all of our sponsors of the People's Podcast. And thank you, everyone. We can't wait to put this on YouTube today. Every anonymous donation and donor, we appreciate everyone. Thank you all very much. Here we go. And we're coming right back to Brother Chase.
Brother Rashad Street Premiere. He has a 4K camera and a drone. He does television and film editing. Please reach out to him if you need any of those services. Sister Miriam's ABC I Love Me, children's book and coloring book, and now Spanish book. All three available on Amazon.com. Sister Naima's Stay on Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country, right here in the studios of Atlanta, Georgia. Rock Communications. If you're working on a book and you need copy, editing, project management, content development, or media relations, please reach out to Rock Communications. Student Minister Robert L. Muhammad's Conflict Mediation, squashing the beast throughout the Southwest region. He does a phenomenal job. His wife, Sister Fudia Muhammad's Giving Birth to a God and the Science of Child Rearing. Please make sure you go out and get a copy of her book as well. Fashion Gods, urban streetwear clothing for men and boys. 314-329-6009. He'll keep you dressed in the best of fashion. Brother Kenneth's Bow Tie Maker Extraordinaire. He'll ship you bow ties anywhere across the nation. Taj Hollywood's Chemistry 6 episode, a new television series out on YouTube. He's looking for actors and writers. Make sure you support him. Keep It Hood, helping others overcome depression. Also by Taj Hollywood. Brother Aaron's Elevated Places, stress management, real estate, credit, repair, and restoration. His Respect for Life Center. They do personal wellness, philosophy, emotional, and mental spiritual wellness. 229-344-1474. Dr. Henry Carter's King Henry Turkey Legs, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Rashad Muhammad's COVID-19 Disinfected Cleaning Services, out of Chicago. Student Minister Sharif Muhammad's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, available on adulsharif.com. And lastly, Brother Joshua Muhammad's book, Cleopatra, as well as No Father, No Excuse, both available on
Perfect.
Amazon.
All right, right back to Brother Chase. Thank you, everybody who's watching. Thank you, Brother Chase, for your patience. All right, my next question for you, sir, is you spoke about having children. How has being a father impacted you?
And majorly. majorly. Had mine early, man. So it forces you to grow up. It forces you to literally put away the childish things because you have to be an example. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm the perfect example. And I strive. I'll say that much. Shout out to my son. He right here. He get on my nerves sometimes, but love him to death, man. Love him to death. And my daughter, shout out to her, Mariah, wherever you at. Love you. You know what I'm saying? They forced me to grow up in a major way. They forced me to stop being selfish and be selfless. You know what I mean? There are times, you know what I mean, where you get so used to, you know what I mean, doing for yourself and just doing this and doing that. Me. And then this these beautiful creatures called your children come into your life. And I heard a comedian say, I have my own people. I have my own, and they listen to me. I'm their leader. and it forced you to have to think about them. You know what I mean? And literally push yourself beyond what you would normally, you know what I mean, relax on. Like I'm fatigued a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? Just from, work, the dojo, back and forth. Sometimes I forget, hey, I still gotta be a dad. I still gotta be a dad. I still gotta feed him, still gotta, clothe him, still gotta talk about this. Yeah, I still gotta talk about that. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you have any children, but it's not for the weak. You know what I mean? And
yes, sir.
It's not. I'll say it's definitely for the strong. And you know what I mean? Make sure that you are thinking, you know what I mean, and planning when you have children. I thank Allah for the teachings now. It talks about how to give birth to a God, you know what I mean? And just being able to have that knowledge now and properly plan and put stuff together, man, it's amazing.
Beautiful. Excellent. Yes, sir. All praises to Allah. Okay, so now I asked you before we went live about your martial arts in front of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. What was that like, sir?
What? Brother. I wish that day could have lasted a little bit longer. First of all, I had no clue I was going to do it till maybe an hour out. Daniel came over to me. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be working self-defense. I'm like, well, okay, cool, awesome. High five. He's like, no, but you going to be the Uki. What? Yeah, I'm going to be throwing you. Let's practice real quick. So, we go through a couple scenarios in which he's like, all right, I'm going to throw you like this, and woo, woo. And then I was like, cool. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, I make sure you cover, you know what I'm saying, because I might be feeling spirit on this one. And I'm like, cool. I'm gonna put my hand up and cover. Man, the first technique he threw was a hook kick to my head. And I had to cover up. But you know what I mean, it was some sauce on that one. You know what I mean? And then he got ready to throw me on the last one. On the last throw. He threw me, and it was a beautiful throw. I landed, but it was like whoop, boom. And when I got up, I think I got up too fast, and my computer wasn't online. So if you look at the video, I'm literally bowing the opposite way to where the minister is. The minister's like this way, I'm bowing this way. He's bowing to the minister. I was like, oh, he finally kind of tapped me real quick, and I was like, that's my computer come back on. I'm able to see again. I'm like, okay, there you go, minister. Bow us, and I was just like it was that moment was like magical. You know what I'm saying? It was magical because just everything about that weekend. That was our first tournament, you know what I mean? Thrown as a school. Lions Paw, that was the Scimitar Open. Looking to do it again this year, this upcoming year, 2023. Be on the lookout, all you competitors and all of that. Which brings me to say, I'm working on some things too to bring attention to the sport that we're in, which is sport martial arts, point fighting, the katas and whatnot. I think that it's time now. This is the year now for the attention now, that spotlight to be on that sport. I've seen ESPN try to cover it a couple of times, but they gave it like lightweight attention, and that was like for a tournament, a major tournament, which was the U.S. Open. But it's time for us now to get light to it because it's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful sport. And we have awesome and phenomenal athletes, such as, of course, my teacher, Master Daniel Muhammad, who does what he does. You know what I'm saying? There's others, like, I'm just throwing out a couple of names, you know what I mean? Household names like Zach Winder, you know what I mean? You got Avery Ploutons. You know what I'm saying? You got the Kevin Walkers, you know what I mean? These are like the superstars of this sport. If you ever just got time, just tune in to sportsmartialarts.com on YouTube and just, check it out, man. Check out this sport that we love to do. I got a channel that I'm getting ready to start very soon, called Square Up TV. It's on so far. It's an Instagram channel. So if you're on Instagram, look it up. It's called the Square Up. Then it's gonna be where I cover a lot of sport martial arts athletes and fighters and teams. There's also teams in our leagues and whatnot. So it's definitely a dope thing to be a part of, man. So I would love the world to take a peek at what I love. What we love to do.
Yes, sir. Now, is this something that people can be rookies or amateurs at enjoying, or do you have to already know how to fight in order to do this type of fighting?
Oh, there's definitely rookie levels to it. You know what I mean? It's definitely rookie levels to it. I mean, but just like in any sport, like basketball, football, baseball, there's the amateur level, but then you love watching the pros. That's what you see them do phenomenal stuff. Like, yo, he just did a spin move, cross between the leg, around the back, dunk. Then dude did a 3-step drop, shimmy shook the defensive line, made it all the way to the touchdown line without getting tackled. Or this guy did a home run all the way to the parking lot. You know what I mean? So in this sport, you'll see people doing spin kicks, reverse punch, you know what I mean? A triple spin axe kick, you know what I mean? All type of phenomenal stuff, man. It's the pro level stuff that'll make you go, oh, I want to do this, you know what I mean? So definitely check it out. Check it out.
Perfect. All right, we got 2 more questions for you, Brother Chase, and thank you everybody who continues to watch the People's Podcast. If you could choose your favorite album of all time, what would it be, sir?
You asked me a tough question, buddy. Top album of all time. I would give it to DMX, Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. That is
okay.
I really started with. Huge fan of his, you know what I'm saying?
Me too. Me too.
Inside and out. That's when I really started appreciating it. I was in 8th grade.
Okay. So you saying with tripping, falling, I can't get up. You saying yes, sir. Yeah. You can't go
I can
wrong with
listen to that like literally top to bottom, front to back, not skip nothing, and enjoy the entire album.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with DMX. Perfect. All right, we got one more question for you, sir. What would you like your legacy to be?
Whew. That's such a heavy question, man.
Yes, sir.
My legacy to be whatever Allah say. You know what I'm saying? And I know that sounds like a cliche answer. You know what I'm saying? I would love for it to be in martial arts, but I think that there's so much more in me than besides just martial arts. I believe there's so much more. There's other talents that I'm starting to discover, you know what I mean, in martial arts, you know what I mean, and just starting to hone in on outside of martial arts. But that's why I say whatever Allah would say, you know what I mean, I'm with it, you know what I mean? So martial arts is really my thing. I love security, you know what I'm saying? I love, you know what I mean, just understand the aspects of security. I'm not an expert at all, you know what I mean, on it, but I love it, you know what I mean? I love studying it, you know what I mean? And there's certain things that I know about it from studying it and being around it. I'm trying to become more of a student of the game to that. Of course, art. I love art. I love drawing. I even
yes, sir.
love doing concept art and all of that other stuff. I would love to leave my print somehow in any of those avenues. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. All praises to Allah. It's an honor. Go ahead, bro. Chase, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. And just for my children, you know what I mean? I would love to leave something for them so that they could, you know what I mean, be fine. Like when I'm long gone, I just want them to be okay, you know what I mean? And my generations to come, you know what I'm saying? So I have to throw that in. I want to be that selfish.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, that's a beautiful legacy and an honorable legacy to have, sir. I look forward to meeting you in person, inshallah, Savior's Day, Brother Chase. And I look forward to my nephew's big into martial arts. He can't believe that I've been doing it my whole life or whatever, but I want him to meet you and to see you all, whatever you all got at Savior's Day. We want to bring the whole family so that we can support you. I don't know what y'all got set up for Savior's Day yet or whatever. Are you gonna have something at Savior's Day? What's going on with karate?
I don't know just yet. You know, whatever the master say, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely, I think something is in the works though, definitely. So just be on the lookout, man. And I can't wait to meet you in person, man. Man, it's like I'm a huge fan of the show. Like I said, like I've seen the shows with Sultan, man. That's big bro. Like number one, man. That is. I'd definitely be tuned in. I'll be rushing home from the mosque. Sometimes I'll be, I'll be there. You know, brother. Sharing brotherhood with the brothers. You might stop and grab something. I hurry up when what Sultan gonna be on. I sit back, chill, and just catch the knowledge and wisdom that he has to share. And he has some stories.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Y'all haven't seen it. I encourage anybody that's watching now to go back, just comb through the library of this show and just catch these episodes, man. You will learn something, man, and enjoy yourself. You'll be thoroughly entertained. Trust me.
Praise due to a lot. That means a lot coming from you, Red Chase. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam.
And please get a green to your family.
No doubt.